to go. 5 seconds.
Wind Ranger at your service.
Dyer's pick.
Faceless Void.
Radiant's pick. Radiant's ban.
Good evening and welcome back to Game 3 of this matchup between Rutgers University and Virginia Tech, neither of which team felt the need to put their names on the screen after the last match. My name's Toffee's bringing you the action here every Tuesday and Thursday night, joined by my co-caster, Gorgon the Wonder Cow, and of course supported by our generous sponsors, Twitch, who is supporting the CSL and featuring matches weekly, as well as Asus Republica Gamers, the makers of the finest PCs, laptops, and monitors in the world. And it's funny, this season's travel to DreamHack and our prize pool for the year. Be sure to follow their social media at Asus_ROG and thank them for sponsoring the CSL. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. This is Game 3. This is really important for Virginia Tech to win. Rutgers to win. Virginia Tech would love nothing more than to kibosh their playoff run. Gorgon, what are you looking for in this match?
Some interesting and consistent draft strategies from the get-go. I like this Skywrath Mage into the Faceless Void. It does you have the potential to zone Faceless Void out of his own ultimate or away from priority targets within his ultimate. So that's always nice. The Invoker, a very high priority pick, and that tells me if Virginia Tech have not been picking this, I don't think it's been banned the last couple games.
It hasn't.
So that might be a pocket pick. You don't usually pick an Invoker unless you have somebody who knows how to play it really, really well.
Yeah.
And he's a very strong hero if you know how to play him. So I'm honestly a little surprised we haven't seen him earlier today from Virginia. But this might just be a, oh, look what we have up our sleeves sort of pick.
Definitely. I think that right now we've got some things that are going to make that Faceless Void's life a little bit difficult in multiple contexts here. The fact that Wind Ranger's Shackle, I think, is also very effective against the Faceless Void. If she's left outside, the Shackle range is fairly significant, and the angles are easy to get based on the way that the Void initiation generally is going to be working. So that could work against them. It should be pretty interesting. Darkseer grabbed up presumably for the off lane for the guys from Rutgers. Their draft, I feel that this draft is different than what we've seen from them so far. This is the first draft I've seen where the first 3 picks make me think Rutgers is buckling down and going for the win.
Yes, Rutgers seems to. This is a very fast draft, so they seem to have an idea of what they want to do. They probably talked about it before. I'm not seeing a lot of consistency in terms of that cohesion that I was talking about, but they might just be picking their best heroes, right? Like the Wind Ranger, I don't like hate her like you say I do, but she's just not that influential hero in a lot of games. But at this level of play, she still has a bit of bite to her.
In the right hands, she's strong. Io's the same way. We saw Skywrath Mage utilized early on in the last game by Banapple for some really strong rotations. So it seems like they're going to what they know. On the opposite side, there is some definite team fight, bring the pain coming out of the guys from VT.
Right, I'm interested to see what they pair with the IO, because right now they don't have anything that would classically pair. They have a Wind Ranger who could get some IO ganks, but because Shackle's an unreliable stun, you don't usually want to use that. A Sven is a popular pick that would pair with that IO. We used to see a lot of the IO with Chaos Knight come out, which would be okay, other than the fact that the Invoker is going to be able to chew through those pretty quickly if he does go for an a Quaswex style build. The Chaos Knight is also okay against the Lich because you can soak up a bunch of that Chain Frost with the illusions.
Right.
But he's just not popular, so I don't expect to see him.
All right, so let's the AM banned out. I think it's an interesting ban to me. What does that tell you?
Ursa.
Okay.
So this is a hero on the rise in professional Dota, especially in the Americas and in the European CIS region. But he is a hero that's very prone to being kited. Night Stalker is pretty quick. Faceless Void has an escape. Invoker is also fairly quick and has an escape. Lich is certainly a target, but because Lich is going to have that ice armor, Ursa will have difficulty before he manages to get up a BKB. So it's a risky call. They don't have any reliable stun throughout the entire team here for Purdue, and they pick up a hero who's kiteable. That it's a high risk, high reward draft. I'll give them that.
This, all I can think of is that Ursa and Io has been a pocket pairing that the guys from VT have been preparing and practicing, because together they're strong. If you can get the tether slows up, kiting becomes a little less of a factor. At the end of the day, though, it's going to have to be executed very, very cleanly. I'm curious to see if they can actually make that happen. On the opposite side, I feel that VT's draft is significantly more forgiving in a lot of ways. They can drop early and still come back, and they can, if they get a good lead. We saw in the last game, VT is jealous about holding on to leads. Once they get the gold lead, you have to fight tooth and nail to get any bit of that gold back from them. And if they can get an early lead in this game, this lineup's going to be very tough to get that gold back from.
Razor is good into an Ursa, but it's strange given the draft. Razor is also really good alongside a Chronosphere because you will continue to steal damage throughout the Chronosphere.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's a good pick, but it does bind their hands a little bit. They are slightly more early game than I think you would be with a traditional hard carry having been picked up there instead. Wind Ranger goes pretty well single target late, and so does Ursa. But across the entire team for Rutgers, Darkseer's Ion Shell is really the only wave clear that they have. I guess Power Shot too, a little bit. But for the most part, they don't go late super well in terms of getting onto their opponent's side of the map. But they do high ground really effectively.
So they're going to smoke and rotate, and they come very aggressively into the opponent's jungle. Get out ahead of anybody. Storm is going to show himself. Lemonade's going to come forward to be spotted. Here comes the wraparound. This should be the death of Lemonade, but uh-oh, Kappa and Fanfare are here. They want to play. Lemonade now on the run. Immediately picks up Unstable Current to try and slow some folks down, but it's not going to matter. Or will it? Lemonade does get slowed again, but Banapple circles around the long way, gets the kill, and now the chase is on. Thu is in some trouble. Banapple closing the distance. That link making him very effective. It's a double, and now NCAP has got to run even faster as Rutgers did not come to mess around in this one. They get two. They power shot to really hurt that Night Stalker start, throw down a really nice ward, and rotate away. And it was just a very effective open.
This is like a new Rutgers. This is a totally new team. We have not seen this tonight. If they had had that level of coordination and that level of aggression for 22 minutes in the last game, they would have won it hands down.
I think Rutgers underestimated their opponent. The first game went so well for them. They thought that they could goof around even more. They could not. It cost them a game. And let's say Rutgers plays out of their mind well. If they coordinate the way that they just did at the start of this game and they win this one, and then they lose playoffs because they dropped a match, God, that would be devastating.
That would be just rough to deal with. Yeah, the IO is actually doing a lot of exchanges here, but you have to bear in mind whenever you choose to exchange with an IO that he's just going to heal up, and he's going to heal somebody else with him.
Storm's not taking a lot of damage, has to surge to safety as Kappa came in on a rotation there. And so far, very aggressive play here coming out of the Dire on the top lane. Bottom lane is going to be pretty interesting as well. Put that last hit tonight chart up for you guys to keep an eye on in this match. And
Wind Ranger's winning the mid lane as well. Every lane is being won right now by the Dire side. The Darkseer is more last hits than the Razor even.
Wow. All right, so things not going great. The Faceless Void sitting at level 2, having a really tough time. No last hits actually to his name at all. In the middle position, Lano doing a great job of creep equilibrium. Thu not really able to stay competitive. He's only level 2, and our win range is almost to level 4 at this point. So he's getting a little bit of trouble going. Meanwhile, Billionaire gets caught, and he's got to jump away to safety. He does negate, obviously, that damage that Banapple put on him, but it just shows this Hachiko Banapple lane is really working in terms of its ability to harass aggressively, pull lanes, keep equilibrium in their favor, and Sugar Glider just loving the free farm.
Yeah, Void isn't just, he's not a very good offlaner either. He is an okay offlaner, but in the sense of like exchanging hits and getting within range, he's got one kind of escape. He doesn't catch up very well. He doesn't do a lot of damage early game, and he isn't a ranged hero.
So he doesn't have a ton.
Yeah, he's got good survivability, but only if he stays a safe distance away from the action, right? Because that time walk is still a pretty like small. It's only 625, which is not. I mean, that won't even get you out of the range of the Arcane Bolt concussive shot combo, right?
Right. Ursa is level 3 now, level 2 for the Razor down there on the bottom position is Kappa playing that support. Night Stalker still at 1 along with the Lich. And we'll go back to the mid where Thu is going to get shackled, but it wasn't a creep shackle, unfortunately for Lanhao, who would have had the kill had it been with those illusions. So,
Even so, Lanhao is doing absolutely spectacularly in this lane. He's the head of his opponent's farming carry
he's so
out of the
boxed.
lane.
That is crazy. He
Yeah,
knows his
against
Wind
an
Ranger.
Invoker, too. Invoker
Well-
is a strong laning hero.
And we said that. We said that at this level, Wind Ranger is a hero that in the right hands can be very strong. Unfortunately, Invoker, the same sort of hero, and it just seems like Lanhao has this Invoker's number, unfortunately.
Hachiko once again trying to zone out Billionaire.
And doing it. Billionaire can't do much. He's just got to get a couple right clicks in, negate the damage, walk away. Meanwhile, we've got Banapple coming to the high ground. He's got that long-distance arcane bolt. So if Lanhao can land a good stun power shot here, that'll be the end of Thu.
Also, I don't know if you noticed this, but the Io did pick up an Orb of Venom. So every time that he exchanges, he gets an extra 12 damage on the tail end.
Smart the way he's playing this.
Yeah.
Storm,
He's just being
Storm
as
Soul doing a good
aggressive.
job of soaking XP. Meanwhile, Banapple's going to hide up here on the top, looking to get his hands on the bottle should it come. Not
He
going to
might
happen.
even be rotating in with a concussive shot.
Well, I thought he would, but I think that the Thu was
Invoker's
able to
full health
regen
now,
up pretty
so.
quickly.
Yeah. Either way, the Darkseer also has been permitted to fall back into his offlane jungle so that he can catch up as well. He is doing better than the Void by a long shot. Void with one last hit. He should be able to get a couple now that the equilibrium is in his favor, but he's about to crest into level 4.
Very, very interesting start to this game. 2-0, and this is Rutgers versus Virginia Tech. For those of you who are just joining us, we didn't get the team names up. I think both teams were anxious to sort of get this rubber match on the way. Gold lead is already at 2,000 to favor the Dire. A lot of that you can see before the timer even started at 0-0. They were already up by 1,000. Now Kappa does rotate in to harass Lanhao back a little bit, much needed. Storm taking some damage down on the bottom as Fair and Fair tries to harass him the way that Io's been doing the top, but he's not as effective. Meanwhile, on the top, Sugar Glider comes in. There's the length, the speed. They did a ton of damage, but the stuns aren't long enough, and that is the value, I suppose, of a Void off lane because they invested a lot to get him killed, and he's right back up at full health.
Yeah, they do need a reliable stun to kill him, probably,
Or
but
silence.
or silence, right? A reliable disable, I guess I should have said, but they don't have one except the Ancient Steel, which isn't long enough. It's unlikely that they're going to blow him up in 3 seconds quite this early. A couple levels from now, yeah, that's a real threat, but right now it's not.
It looks like Tarask is check. Oh, hold on. Kappa's making a rotation here. They want to go on Lanhao. They need to get this kill. Lano's going to pop up this avoidance and just get out, no issue whatsoever. But apparently Tarask checked items and saw that Ursa has something in the ballpark of 1,700 kills on one of his items.
Huh. Must play a lot of Ursa.
Must play a lot of Ursa. They are, so that confirms they're picking their best heroes. Kappa comes in, Lano gonna try to get away again, gets meatballed, cold snapped, runs for the hills, the Sunstrike is there. Much needed kill, Invoker gets it, needed it, level 6.
Now, I will say his Belt of Radiant Protector, it does have 1,782 kills, but only has 88 victories. So
Interesting.
I suspect that that's not all Ursa. I suspect that was a gem that was pulled from another item and put into this item because it is a common armor. So
Just like that, it's 2-2. A kill on the top, a kill on the bottom. Kappa is everywhere. He said it's nighttime, and that's the time for me to rotate. And he's doing it. He's doing it well.
yeah, he honestly shouldn't be getting this much space to go out and get stuff done because he is a support. He isn't super leveled, so he's scary, but he's not really that scary right now, especially since he was level 3 during some of those rotations. But bear in mind, they just need to buy time for Io to get 6, for Ursa to be able to go into Roshan, so giving up a couple kills might be an inevitable part of that growing process.
Fair enough. Now Ursa is 5. He's closing in on that level 6 mark. It looks like they want to make a move here on Billionaire. But Apple comes out. The silence did not go off in time. He smells the rotation and runs like the Dickens. Meanwhile, Ursa going to go ahead and continue to get a little bit of free farm here as a Void is now 5. So like you said, he's been getting under tower plays. He's been getting a little more relevant, but still not as effective as he'd like to be. And now the charge is on. The silence is there. Up comes the Link. Billionaire's still got the ability to jump away. And now Hachiko took a lot of damage as they got in very, very deep. They've got to be careful. There's the Sunstrike. Io goes boom.
Great balls of fire.
Darkseer died on the bottom again. And now it's 4-2.
All right. Virginia not willing to go quietly into the night. This is the stage of the game where they should be doing well with that Night Stalker, but they're outperforming expectation.
That's sad. Unfortunate. Gold lead was up at 3,000. Now it's back to 0, and the XP is back in Radiant's favor. Ursa is on top of the farm list, but that, Lanhao doing well. But everybody, there's 4, one after another, coming behind those top 2. So a little bit of a worry there. Though you gotta remember that I think that the Wind Ranger really shines in that mid game, and I think that she's setting up for a really strong mid game to keep them in this. Ursa is gonna get really fire. He's got the Morbid Mask, can go for the Aegis soon with the IO combo, like you said. They're gonna start to really execute. Billionaire gets silenced and jumps away just in time. Glider Love cannot jump in after him. So Void surviving, but not getting a ton in return. He does now have the Chronosphere up if he wants to try to use that at some point, but really it's more defensive, I think, at this point.
I'm surprised Skywrath Mage has waited until now to get the 2nd level of Ancient Seal. If he had that earlier, they would have gotten a kill on the Void, right? The extra second of silence would have made the difference.
That can't possibly be true. Holy cow.
Yeah, for sure.
No, not that. Kill. Sorry. Invoker has 56,000 kills on his hair.
Hold on, I am checking. Wow, he's got a lot of gems. Jeez, dude, this guy's cosmetics are every single one of them is filled with gems. Yeah, one of them has 6,200.
Jeez, he must like his Invoker.
Whoa, yeah, I found one that is 56,591 kills on his hair. Yeah,
that's a lot of Invoker. So both teams playing their best heroes here as we go into
once again. That's probably from multiple heroes, right? That's probably something that he got in a trade, or maybe something that he rotates around with cosmetic hammers.
I don't know, man. His meatball shot was pretty epic.
I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good Invoker. I'm just saying that would be a lot of Invoker play.
Like an uncomfortably boring amount of Invoker.
Right.
All right, so now we see a rotation towards the mid position. The guys from VT want to get another pick on Lanhao. They know she's going to be the key to the mid game and are trying to make that effective. A little bit of harass from Thu here as the rotation stops out. We see Kappa head back towards the bottom. Nothing to come for Fanfare. He's going to go ahead and try to finish this tower. Will do so. Finishes it off. Gets a shackle, but no link. And we'll have to back away as in comes Fanfare. So they get the tower. The mid is down. That's a valuable move for them. It takes away some of the response that they would get towards the Roche Pit. I would assume it frees up Lanhao to sort of utilize the push. He has a double damage, but no ulti to put with it. Storm taking a ton. Lemonade's had his number, man, and Storm has just not been able to escape. That plasma field has been max damaging him on a consistent basis. And again, Storm will go down, tries to get himself out.
That's clever to try and get out with the vacuum of the tree. Maybe tried to get the courier there as well, but he just got himself dug way too deep, way too fast on that maneuverability.
Oh, Banapple! He saw the courier run that way, and he actually went through the jungle to try and pick it off, but doubted himself at the last second and was just out of position. So now he's got it back, puts himself in a precarious position here. If Lemonade should notice him and rotate, he could be in a lot of danger, and they are. Banapple's going to go ahead and move on Lemonade, and here comes the Chico. There's the TP, Glider Love. I'm sorry, the TP to relocate, and that's the fear. That's what you got to worry about with Rutgers. And you said they're coming online.
Blink is up on the Ursa. This is going to be a bloodbath.
Fanfare. There's the blink, the run, the stun. The burn is real.
And they should be able to get a pretty easy tower here as well. Double damage on the Wind Ranger with a focus fire. This tower, it's not long for this world.
Kappa gets silenced. They want to go after him as well. Up comes the Link. Ursa on the charge. He gets body blocked 4 times, 5 times by the Darkseer. Kappa turns around for Banapple. The bait is real. Banapple will die, but he gets the Darkseer. And the tower is falling to Lanhao and the double damage at the same time.
Boy, Blink Dagger on Ursa seems to be a pretty good item, Toffees. Who would have guessed?
11 minutes. They had the IO come up at the same time as the Blink Dagger. It could not have been more fortuitous timing for the guys of Rutgers University.
He's got an extra 33% net worth on top of what the Razor has, by the way. So he's doing just peachy. He's going to move in and get a free Aegis as well. So what is that? Tier 1, 3 kills and Aegis in 40 seconds before 12.5 minutes.
That's good. I mean, they took back almost all the goldie that they lost earlier. He is dropping a little bit low here. He's got to be somewhat careful.
Lich does have an ult, and they are grouped up pretty close.
This could get sketchy. They're going to run. Scattering. Fanfare takes the shackle. Big! Fanfare gets killed. Kappa's left standing. And now Storm's going to go on the run. Tries to go for Lano. Lano's too far. The plasma field. Max damage. Plasma field does it. And no, front row. That's a double chrono, but here comes Tho and Lemonade from the back. This is real bad. Things unraveled quickly. And once again, Rutgers caught with their pants down in a Roche pit.
Boy, yeah, this is... I don't know. How much damage did Razor get? 42? Yeah, they can take this, but it'll be slow. They'll probably die to the Ursa if they try to. They're slowly slogging through it. Ursa not interested in defending the Aegis. I'm not sure what's going on here.
I mean, they can't. What are they going to do?
Ursa could go in there and easily blow up at least one.
All right, Billionaire does jump out boldly. It might cost him his life, so hey, that's the first time we've seen VT show costly hubris, and they did it with the Faceless Void there.
Well, I don't even think that was hubris. I think that was a very smart call. They wanted to make sure the Ursa couldn't blink in.
That's fair.
So if Ursa was sitting up there for the steal, the Void would have stopped it.
And wow, Thu finishes off the IO with, what was that, Forge Spirit's kill? Or Sunstrike?
I think it was the Forge, but
Great plays. All right, not too shabby, guys. The game has gone very, very smoothly. Well, I guess back and forth so far. Gold lead is back in the favor of the Radiant at 500. Dire keeps trying to pull it back, but VT playing very, very effectively. What do they do? I mean, who do you think is at an advantage right now in this game? All right, I heard Gorgon cut out there, so it sounds like maybe we may have lost him. We'll try to get him back, but I guess I'll be solo casting until he gives me a holler back on Skype, and we'll just see what happens. I hope it's not a solo cast, because I don't know that my voice can hold on to it. You guys are definitely getting some chocolate if that's the case. All right, down goes Rutgers. They want to use the momentum they got off of that last play. Thu drops low, but the Yule saves a life, and he will survive. Storm Spirit puts out his ultimate. It's not going to be enough. It's not necessarily Skywrath Mage. Skywrath now getting caught by the cold snap. Manapple will go down. Thu lives, and they lose one. So what looked like a really strong initiation from Rutgers ends up being too aggressive. Skywrath Mage unable to finish off Thu, who's becoming a quick problem in this match. He's got that Hand of Might as well as the Yule's up, and he is playing this Invoker very, very well. I don't know if all those kills came from the Invoker, but he definitely proves that he's had more than enough games on him to be a solid player. Lano now in some trouble. Out comes this Faceless Void Chrono. Lano's got nowhere to go, and it's a team kill. They get a double off of that pressure towards the bottom lane, and right now VT is starting to look like a train that has the brakes going out as they run down these lanes, as they take the fight to the guys from Rutgers, and Rutgers has to be questioning their run here. They need this win to really secure playoffs as a guarantee, and now Kappa is going to go get taken down. Ursa's on the run, but Nappa in some trouble. He drops. Thu goes down, but the ulti is going to separate the heroes from the IO link, and that's exactly what he had to do. So they go 1 for 2 and get another nice double. They lost the Night Stalker, but he's support, so really, what does it matter? Let's take a look at some items here. We've got the Mask of Madness on the Void, a Hand of Midas also on the Razor, as he's looking to get some more gold into his pockets. On the opposite side, that Blink that's been effective for Ursa hasn't converted to anything else since then. We do have a mech being finished up on the Darkseer here relatively soon. Wind Ranger is very close. Let's see just how close. About 800 gold away from her Ag Scepter. That's going to be a big pickup for her, though she does not have the Blink Dagger yet, obviously. And I think that'll help with some pushing, but I think she's really going to need to get a little more than the eggs to keep them in this thing right now.
I could not agree more. I think the Wind Ranger at this stage in the game, really a big part of the issue that you have is that she does not have sustainable damage. Even with the Ags, she has a bit of burst physical damage, and she's great on towers, but we're going to have a fight.
Kappa gets caught. That's big. Rutgers needs it. In comes the Yules to buy some time, and they do manage to get away. So Manapple and the crew came in looking for more death and destruction. They get one. They need a lot, though, because Radiant is back in control of the gold and the XP. Significantly in control of the XP. Those Hand of Midases are starting to show, as there's 2 on the side of VT right now.
Yeah, so one of the issues I think that we're seeing sort of brought through here is that Razor and Void and Invoker and Night Stalker too all kind of come forward with strength at this stage in the game, right? Ursa does pretty well at this stage in the game. Darkseer still needs a little while to get going. He doesn't quite have his mech up, though it is waiting for him for the courier. I think that they expected to have a bit more map control and a bit more ability to go out and get ganks with that Ursa IO combination.
Yeah, I mean, they've been mostly trying to do that, and I feel like it's been effective once or twice, but the problem is they're getting one or two good moves with the combo and a pick off here or there, but then when it goes badly, they're losing 3-4 heroes at a time, so it's sort of negating any successes that I feel like they've had so far.
Yeah, that is. Oh, and speaking of negating successes, Purple Pirate's going to go down.
Darkseer's going to see black, and not because of his namesake, but because he gets caught out in a Chronosphere combo that has been effective. That Sunstrike Chronosphere has just really put the screws to the opposing team.
Yeah, Invoker is also sitting on max exhort now. That Midas obviously doing its work. That's why you get it, so you can get that max exhort as fast as possible. But I just don't feel like these Midases coming out for the Radiant side have really been punished very much.
No.
Two of them, and neither of them have been forced into engagements that they don't want because of it.
I feel like at this point, if you were to talk about just sort of the farm they put together, with the Midases taken aside, they're still pretty much even with their opponents, and they're only going to get worse from there. So right now, I mean, if you just look at the XP chart, you're going to see it's already 7,500 of the Radiant and growing very fast. Gold is catching up swiftly as well, and it's just a tough situation, and you can tell by the way that they're playing a little bit frenetically that Rutgers is starting to sense that, and they're trying to find a way to come back and sort of combat it, but now they know that they're on a clock. These two Midases add a ton of pressure to them to get this game running.
Yeah, they could high ground okay. The Darkseer is pretty good at high ground. Wind Ranger is pretty good at high ground defense. The Ursa with the blink can be fairly devastating from the high ground defense. I think the issue with that is that this Invoker is way too much of a problem. And Invoker is a much bigger impact on the game than a Wind Ranger is, even if they're both equivalently skilled.
No, I mean, if you defend the high ground, you hold till 40 or 50. At the end of the day, VT's late game, in my opinion, and I think in fact, is significantly stronger than anything that Rutgers can try to put together, especially with those Midases and how fast they're going to get to their late game.
Yeah, the Darkseer mitigates some of that because they have a lot of right click in their late game, and Darkseer works really well into that because of those illusions. Wind Ranger can theoretically blow one person up if he gets a shackle, right? And the Ursa could theoretically blow the other person up if they get a shackle. But I think part of the issue is that Razor doesn't go into late game as well as an Ursa, in my opinion, or even not necessarily as well as a Wind Ranger. But it goes well into late game against heroes like Ursa, and that's part of the issue here. Is that the Razor was a really good counter in this particular game.
I dig that completely. 4,000 gold, by the way, now 7,500 official on the XP, and they're going to roll 5 towards the bottom lane as the push has begun. The mech is done on the Darkseer for Dire. The Ags is up on Wind Ranger. We finally have a Basher finished up on Ursa.
Watch for this relocate. There's the smoke coming. The relocate's going to come in any second.
Could be in some trouble. He's isolated from his team. Gets caught by the ulti. He will go down. His team does respond. So let's see what happens here. Hachiko dropping low. In he goes. It's a 4-man chrono. This is bad. Look at the bounces. Lawnow down. Storm in trouble. Sugar Glider going to have to run. And that is a triple kill as Darkseer did what he could. But it was too little too late. And this may be 4. Nope, Manapple will get away. They don't get a time lock there.
Where in a Shave Dog swimming pool was this Invoker in the earlier 2 games? I feel like if they had had this Invoker in their last couple games, things would have gone more smoothly for Virginia. Not that the entire team isn't contributing, but he really has been on point. The Faceless Void here also getting several really nice Chronospheres.
Yeah, no, their combo is really working out well. Faceless Void is hitting some great Chronos. I mean, that was a 4-man Chrono at the borders of 4-man. It was about as good as it could have gotten to maximize the usage. And it, again...
Lich capitalized on that with an excellent ult.
Now, Lich did go down to Sugar Glide. He was going to back away very quickly here. But like you said, I mean, he capitalized on it. They've got a combo that's built around Chronosphere being used effectively. And so far, it hasn't whiffed. It hasn't missed a chance to be used effectively. And it seems like it's always up whenever Virginia Tech wants to take a fight.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, at least one of the nice chronospheres was just like, oh, there's a hero at half health. I can probably close that. And it didn't even necessarily require the use of any combination. But Aegis is going to drop down here for the Dire side. Finally, they are going to have something go their way. And they are only a couple kills behind. They don't necessarily scale poorly into the late game. They don't necessarily scale poorly even into the late portions of the mid game. So with a couple of good IO relocates, especially if they manage to catch the Invoker out, the whole game could be flipped on its head.
Yeah, the thing that I worry about is the lineup from Rutgers seems to be very built on sort of this pick-off potential. The problem they're running into is VT's just not giving them the chance. They're moving as a unit. They're always watching each other's back. And if they leave someone out, it's a person with an escape, or it's because the rest of the team is about to take an objective. And, you know, Wind Ranger with the Ags is great and well at this stage of the game if you can get a pick-off. But you can't when in comes another double chrono. We're going to be looking for a Sunstrike. The bouncing Lich Ball will spell some doom here. Nice vacuum, though, from Storm to buy some space. Kappa comes in. Good play. Fanfare will go down. In comes Ursa from behind. Thus up in the air. They're going to finish the job. This is a big play for them. They get a triple, and now Sugar Glider wants to finish Kappa badly. Storm's on the chase. Kappa will kite them away, so there won't be a tower push at this point. But Kappa does get caught by Sugar Glider. He'll go down. It is a quad kill, and they can start to try to lean on this mid lane a little bit. But that's just big, and the Aegis still up. That was huge.
Yeah.
That was huge.
And also, with a Wind Ranger Ursa, there's no such thing as leaning on a tower a little bit. There is hurricane force winds or not being near the tower. There's really no independent streak.
Dude, that fight 100% came down to a really strong vacuum wall.
Yeah, really strong vacuum wall. I will also say that Banapple on the Skywrath Mage continues to be impressive with his choice of target, with his initiation, with his zoning, and with his positioning. He now has the Force Staff, and he was...
Oh, Razor! Technically, it's a 5-man wipe.
There you go. Well, you know, every now and then you just gotta take a nap as a group. It's a bonding exercise.
Damn, look
try
at
to
that.
knock down this tower.
Look at that. You could fall off of that cliff and die on the gold chart. That's crazy town.
Yeah, I fell down a mountain like that once. It wasn't fun.
Sugar Glider goes deep. Meanwhile, Lonhao just chips at the tower, happily doing it. Kappa comes forward, Force Staff. That was a beautiful play by the Skywrath Mage. We're going to see the Yules to buy some space, and Kappa will walk away, but in comes Sugar Glider. He's very deep. He pops the BKB. Now he's just running in circles. Can't find anybody. Has to walk away. That's a sad bear.
They still managed to take almost half of this tower.
Oh, Sunstrike.
It won't be enough to get anything done, though. What I was going to say is Banapple now has his Force Staff, and in the last couple of games, oh, wow.
They're coming back. He came back. He got Kappa. Billionaire gets a triple, though. This is big. Sugar Glider dropping low. In comes the Asteroid. That's 1, 2. Can they make it? 3. Hachiko Glider love. And Billionaire doesn't know that he can commit to this. So they only get 2 after that. I thought they'd get way more. Billionaire chasing Lonahao does not manage to close the deal. Gets the dodge, so he can't try to hope for a time lock. And they only get 2. I thought they'd get more out of that.
Well, they didn't have mana for Chain Frost, or they would have killed the whole team.
So they got cocky. There were 3 inside of that chrono. One of them was the Ursa, who was very low. And they chose to meatball DPS the 2 who were not standing with Ursa. Would it have been a better use of their time to kill Ursa over the Darkseer and the IO?
No, because Ursa had Enrage up for a good chunk of that Chronosphere, so you wouldn't have been doing any real damage to him anyway.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. All right, now they'll move forward. They are going to try to take a tower in return.
Yes, I don't think they'll be able to.
Double shackle. Lano's taking a lot of damage, though. In comes the tornado. Lemonade is there. Lano drops low. Lemonade pops his ultimate. He's going down. Sugar Glider wants to chase, but the meatball is real. Nice play by Billionaire to do some zoning. Glider's got to back away. In comes the Yules again from through to buy himself some space. He's going to go down. Storm comes as well. Billionaire jumps to make the kill, and it goes 2 for 2. Now we're going to see the back off. And the 2 for 2, I think, really favored Rutgers here, as they got the Razor and they got the Invoker. They got the ones with the Midases. They got the top farmers, and that is huge for them. It
definitely favored Rutgers, but it also... That Invoker stopped that from being a 4-man wipe against his team into a 2 for 2 trade with that tornado. So, considering what the alternative was, that was okay for Virginia, right?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Not long ago, I had borderline written off Rutgers in this game. I thought that they were just in a tough spot. They didn't have a lot of comeback. That fight in the jungle turned things around. They got the gold lead. They had the XP advantage for a little while. Ursa has finished an Abyssal Blade, and that's going to be huge because that means that Hachiko can drop him on just about anybody's head if they're alone and guarantee a kill.
You know, here's the thing with the team that has an Ursa. Ursa is just such a force to be reckoned with when he can blink on you and erase any one of your heroes instantly, that until you're really leaning into his team with one of his racks gone, you can't really count that team out. Especially since, like I said, Razor goes okay into the late game and counters Ursa all right. Void goes okay into the late game and in combination with the Razor can counter that out. The Night Stalker goes okay into the late game as a support, but whatever. Same for the Lich. Ursa goes really well into late game compared to those heroes in terms of just right-click physical damage output. I don't think that Virginia have anything even comparable to what this Ursa or this Wind Ranger can put out in terms of physical damage output. What they do have is the Invoker, whose just overall damage output and control will be astonishing if this game goes long enough.
Long enough. And it seems like it may go the distance. Both teams definitely fighting tooth and nail here. Let's check in on some items. We saw the Abyssal finished up. That BKB is at 10 seconds on the Ursa now. Blink on the Wind, Blink on the Darkseer has been pretty effective so far. Sanjyasha finished up on the Razor. Looks like Ag's about halfway done on the Night Stalker. And Invoker with that Aghanim's, Midas, Blink, Yule's, Boots of Travel. His farm has been out of sight.
All right, well, there is going to be a smoke attempt coming here from Virginia.
Speaking of out of sight.
Yeah, literally out of sight, but probably not out of mind. You can actually see them.
BT, Rutgers doing a great job of falling back, saying, I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I can't see him. And they don't even have that strong a vision. Oh, that's why they fell back. They fell back to smoke themselves. Fortunate timing is what that was.
And they have a pretty good idea of what's going on. They do have this ward down here, so they saw exactly what just happened.
Man, that really worked out for them because they had no other vision, so they didn't know where they were. But here they go. In comes Ursa, finds Lemonade. Lemonade gets mech'd. The Chrono comes out, but it's too late to save Lemonade. Storm taking very little damage. The bouncing ball is going to come around. What an unlucky play. Sky and La now caught inside of a duel of damage, as the ultimate is just too strong for Lich. Lano's going to be on the run. Sugar Glider jumps in. Lots of damage coming out on all sides of the map as it ends up going 1-for-1. Razor for a Skywrath. It went better than I expected it to go for both teams, to be completely honest with you.
Io saved Darkseer there with the relocate, and that ended up saving the Darkseer and probably making that Chain Frost much less devastating for the team overall. But it also meant that that Chain Frost bounced off the way that it did bounce. We saw the effects of that as well. So a little bit of unexpected, unintended consequences. That very nice IO play.
Yeah, no, the Wind Ranger was essentially saved by the fact that Skywrath has almost no HP to his name right now. So honestly, if that had been able to bounce one or two more times, that would have been the death of the Wind Ranger.
Yeah. And fortunately for them, it did not. They seem to be waiting out the Aegis here. I'm not sure how I feel about this play. If they could just smoke up again, like right now, do they have smoke in inventory? Because they do not. It's all out of stock.
Yep.
They don't have any on their person, so they can't do that play. If they could, that would probably be the play, right? But I guess now, yeah, waiting for Aegis might be the best opportunity to have. They really need to get some wards up, though, because how are they supposed to relocate gank if they don't know where people are?
Yeah, their vision is really what's, I think, been lacking. And they got lucky that they smoked and happened to have the opposing team walk out of a smoke through their ward. And that was really effective for them. And a saving grace that they had fallen back to smoke in the first place because they didn't have any vision to see that rotation coming out of the Radiant. Radiant's got very strong wards right now. They know what's happening, and we did finally just get this new Dire ward down here on the jungle. So that will be helpful here going forward. Is it enough? I'm not sure. We're going to see how Dire does with them move forward. Lano is desperately searching for someone to solo kill, but again, every time that I look at Virginia Tech, they're running a buddy system.
I am not really sure what you do if you don't have vision and you don't have an Aegis to go grab. You just kind of farm, but the wave clear is way, way, way better for the Radiant side. And the smoke up is coming out here as well.
Yeah, so they smoked and checked for a secret Ursa. It's not going to happen. Now they got to see the top lane. Wow, so everybody's grouping as 5. Here, the Billionaire's hiding, looking for a chance to try and get initiation chrono on someone as they come to farm lane. What we're going to see, though, is RU stacked up as a group, figuring that something's up. It looks like a 5-on-5 waiting to happen, though neither team really pushing the envelope. Kappa going to go forward. Lemonade shows himself now as well. So RU has the advantage as they now know exactly what the guys from VT were up to. VT is going to back away. The smoke coming for Not. Now both teams down smoke.
That's an unfortunate investment. Faceless Void, by the way, is going for an Ags. So he is relying very heavily on these Chronosphere setups, specifically these Chronosphere setups for the Lich and for the Razor. And as this game goes on, it's going to become more and more impactful alongside of the Invoker as well, who's EMP and the Meatball coming out in those fights, and maybe eventually a Refresher as well could just end a team.
This game is night and day from the other two games.
Yes.
Both teams playing very effectively as a team. Communication seems there.
Wow.
In they go.
That timing. They literally just went in there.
Nice. So they move in. They get the well, I think he was in max timer, wasn't he?
Was
like
he?
So close
I
to
didn't
it,
check.
almost
Yeah.
impossible not to be spawning. I think it was like 2.5 after the timer. So they're pretty close. Guaranteed was going to be there. But Apple comes in. There's the ulti on Billionaire. Caught in space. He's going to go down. Now there's the wall for Thu, but Thu goes around and he gets locked and dropped down. It's a nice double as they move towards the bottom lane. The fight is all over. Sugar Child making it happen. Fanfare goes for the run. Sugar Glider Love showing a little bit of that love. Ghost Scepter comes out to buy some time. All it's going to do is give him time to put off the ulti. They spread. They go wide. The ulti will come to an end. And they get a triple kill right off the back of an Aegis push. That is not cool if you are VT.
God, they couldn't have gotten luckier on when that IO happened to relocate back as well. Get pulled back from that relocate and then no longer there to middle ground for that Ice Blast. Couldn't have worked out better for them. So Rutgers should be able to take a tower out of this.
Oh, wow. Glider goes in, finds Kappa. Kappa is in trouble. He goes down. This could be the ball game, folks, as there's not a lot of buyback available. They will eat through this Rax like butter. Lotto has the ultimate off. He'll burn that down. You'll see Ursa immediately move to the range Rax so he can utilize his power there. And
there are still tier 2s up on both other sides, and they can't throne here. So there is still hope here for Radiant's side, but they are definitely now playing at a handicap.
There is, yeah. I will say this, that the guys from Rutgers have gotten lucky on a couple of instances. Not because they're getting lucky per se. They're making the right plays. It just so happens that VT is being caught in some uncomfortable positions strictly by the fact that they just, I mean, like the smoke rotation. It was just pure dumb luck that they happened to be in that position at that time. And I guess you could chalk it up to skill if you want, but I'm saying that Rutgers is playing well and being aided by the fates, it would seem, in this game.
Yeah, there are a couple moments where they seem to have gotten lucky, but there's also a lot of moments in this game.
Oh, I don't question their skill. They've been definitely fought.
What I was going to say is that the part of Dota, like any game that has chance elements, is about playing the odds in an effective way. And there's definitely been a lot of that coming out from Rutgers here as well. Like, you can call it lucky that the IO falls back at the right time, right? Or you could consider that that was the location and timing that they cast to relocate in the first place to maximize the chances that nothing will go wrong, right? So you can always, it's like a poker hand. You can say a poker hand is lucky, but over many, many poker hands, statistically, you're looking at skill.
Tier 2 did go down. Sugar Glider waiting, looking to go in on somebody. Lonhao going to chip from the low ground. Really just hoping somebody would come out and take a fight against him so they could also get their engagement up. That was an interesting power shot.
You know, sometimes you just
He was
gotta...
just looking for the wraparound. He did a good job. He shot it right through here, make sure nobody was sneaking in from behind. They're going to go ahead and move on the forward spirits. Those will drop down, so there goes your armor reduction. In comes Sugar Glider Love. A bit late on the TP game. Frost Wall, Kappa wants to go. Glider Love gonna back away. Lemonade gets a link up, canceled immediately.
Oh, this is the perfect time to go in. That link is already used. You have a relocate, you have an Aegis up. Now's the time to go in.
Wow. Sentry ward went down at the exact same time that they put down their ward. So a little bit unfortunate there. Alana's going to come back around, says, I'll chip, baby. I'm here to chip. I'm here to take towers. You can't stop me. They can't. What do they do? How do you initiate this?
I'm not sure why the overcharge on the Wind Ranger.
There goes Sugar. He fights Billionaire. Down. No chrono for you, Void. Now Kappa on the run. Big Void Wall comes out. Kappa drops down. That's 2 dead with no buyback. Lemonade in some trouble. Sugar Glider makes the rotation, gets 4-step forward, but to no avail as Lemonade hadn't even have a chance to move. The Shackle comes out, and down 40 damage. Sugar Glider will come in and still help finish that shot.
Yeah, this midterm is over, I think.
He has an Aegis. It's not going to matter, though, because he gets relocated back to heal, and he'll be returning in just a second. Banapple in some trouble, but watch out. Here comes the Io Ursa combo. Will he bring him back is the question. He does. There's the blink. Fanfare pops the Ghost Scepter very, very quickly. Nice play by Thu, and now Glider stuck inside of some unwieldy ice, and they have to back away. Storm's going to be on the assist as they go for the escape. Lemonade with the plasma field. Sugar Glider turns back around. Loves the high ground re-engagement, this guy. Can't seem to get that blink off. He's got 20 seconds left on the Abyssal. Caught inside of a nice tornado. That's a double. EMP is going to do some mana damage, and now Storm going to back away. Wind Ranger has returned to the fray. They're going to catch IO as IO tries to go for the run, but here comes Storm. Massive vacuum to try and rescue Wisp, but it doesn't pan out. Here comes that Chrono. They get one on Lana. He stops. Okay, there he goes back. Now Storm in a little trouble. He's got to back away, but that Ursa pops the BKB, goes on Lemonade. Lemonade gets bashed, Abyssal bladed. He's going to manage to get out somehow, and Sugar Glider will go down. It's a 5-man wipe.
Here's the problem with this. I don't see the tower damage coming out here from Virginia to actually get out of their base and take a set of racks of their own into an IO. Like, IO's respawn time is usually going to be pretty low because relative to his team, he's usually pretty underleveled, which means he's typically going to be alive. If you have your entire team pushing out just to get against supers and knock down a couple towers, IO can just relocate to another lane with the Ursa, drop him off, say, see you later, buddy. Have a nice day at school, and you look back at your base and it's gone.
Yeah, well, that's, I'll tell you what. It's 39 minutes right now. At roughly 34 minutes, the Dire had a lead by about 2,000. Now we're at about 12,000. So this has been quite the spin-up by the guy from Rutgers. Rutgers seems to play this way, right? They seem to sort of bide their time, wait for a team fight that works out. They take a lot of risks, and they've lost a few, but they seem to really convert because of the way that this team's makeup is built with that Wind Ranger, with that IO, with that Ursa, that if they get one good engagement, all of a sudden it just turns into so many objectives that all of a sudden VT's playing catch-up again.
Yeah, they had trouble converting at first, but now that they've got some core farm up, it's no trouble at all.
Man, I tell you what a game. It's been a good game. I'm enjoying this game. I think like you even disconnected and your internet came back online because you were enjoying this game so much.
Yeah, no, I defibrillated my computer just to bring it back.
I feel that defibrillating your computer would probably do a lot more damage than good.
Well, you know, that's what you would think about electrocuting a person too, if you didn't know any better.
Fair point.
Clearly you don't.
Fair point. You know? Okay, that makes sense. Who's the first guy that thought of that? He was like, God, Terry's dead. Let's shock him.
Yeah, let's just electrocute him for a little while, see what happens.
It'll be fun. I've never seen somebody electrocuted before. Holy crap, Terry's back. And thus science. Gold lead is at 10,000. Science is born in a moment of electrocution. Gold lead at 10,000, XP at 2, and this game is anybody's guess as to who's going to take the win right now. It's been an ebb and flow back and forth. Who's in control? You never really know, but right now it definitely feels like the advantage lies on the side of Rutgers University.
Yeah, this is Rutgers' game to lose. At this point, they can buy time until there's another Aegis available. Then they get Aegis cheese, and they just win the game. They're being patient here, which I think is the right call. I don't think they're I don't think they are under any real threat unless they lose several fights in a row. But there's no reason to tempt the fate on that, right?
Right.
So they're just going to kind of camp out this area of their opponent's jungle. Their opponents do have a smoke available, and if they time that smoke right, they might be able to take a good fight, get an Aegis out of it, but it's going to be a difficult conversion.
All right, for Tornado's going to come out, and then literally that was what we call an illusion terrified team. As they, Chrono comes out. It only catches 2 this time, though. So Billionaire could be in some trouble. Bouncing Lich gonna die fairly quickly. The ball not very effective. Lemonade caught out. He's been caught by this Ursa a lot of times. Good vacuum. Doesn't get everybody into the wall. Just tries to control them. Lanao, though. And the damage from the Skywrath Mage is gonna go down. Fanfare goes as well. Now we see Thu in some serious trouble. He's caught. Focus fire. Yule Scepter. What's that gonna do? No, everything. As he does manage to get up, but he doesn't get away. The focus fire is too strong. That is 3 down. No buybacks on the cores. The good game, well played, comes out. We'll wait and see if it was to his team or to the general chat. That said, Rutgers had a tough go there for a minute, but they secure the game. They secure their chance to run in playoffs here. And actually, I thought it was a really fun match to wrap up our night on. My name is Toff. You can find me at Toffee's TV. I'm joined here by Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can find him at the Wonder Cow. Any last thoughts before we sign off for the night, Gorgon?
Just thanks for tuning in, guys. I know the night started off a little weird, but we got a really good game to end the night out.
Absolutely. And guys, of course, I do want to give a big thanks again to everybody who's watching for spending the evening with us. Come catch us on Thursdays. We'll head into the final week of regular season. Our matches are still TBA as we're not sure which teams are going to be sort of in a pole position to take the playoffs. We're going to wait and see who sort of needs the points the most, I guess is the best way to say it. Follow the social media at CStarLake to spot our first announcement of which games will be up. You can catch all the other games in action tonight, like StarCraft 2, which is over on CStarLake 2 right now. And again, thank you to Twitch and Asus, Republic of Gamers, for doing a wonderful job of supporting collegiate Dota. Guys, it's been wonderful in the evening with you. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Until then, play more Dota, and as always, Toffee's out. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Don't forget to come back Thursday. This is Toffee's. I'm going to play our end of night song, as is tradition. This is Sleep Easy by Fever Fever. Have a wonderful evening.
Space inside my heart, and I need you to patch me up. I feel lost, I feel lost. Will you be my love? 'Cause I need you. Inside my heart, and I need you to patch me up. I feel lost, I feel lost. Will you be my love? 'Cause I need you. sleep easy from the first time you were in my life. For the first time, I can't sleep easy from the first time you were in my life. For the first time, I can't sleep easy from the first time you were in my life. Sleep easy. Sleep easy. Sleep easy. Sleep easy. Have you ever gotten